and welcome to another episode of Gadgets and Gizmos. We are back after a brief hiatus, and this is a show where we tell you about what all is happening in the world of technology.
Do it! Just do it!
Okay, welcome to Gadgets and Gizmos. We are back. My name is Gaurav Preti, and let's do it! On the show this week, Apple Music is here in India and we'll tell you what's all the buzz all about. We have the Audi TT, which we borrowed from Audi, to tell you what is all the tech inside. And in our gaming section, we review a different and interesting game, Her Story. You know, it was always my dream to do bhangra, but my relatives, like all the relatives, said, "Beta, you have two left feet, and tumse to bilkul bhi na ho payega."
Just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just...
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. This guy is a little high today. Excuse him. Back to the show. So this week we have the ZTE Nubia Z9 Mini with us. It's a nice, good-looking compact smartphone that falls in the sub 15K segment. Here is a review. Smartphone segment is very competitive, where consumers want the best of everything without paying much. So much so that somebody actually suggested that they should be getting a smartphone for free every time they open a pack of basmati rice, and that someone was my mom. Alright, so this is the ZTE Nubia Z9 Mini. Big name with the word mini. It's a 5-inch smartphone which is a nice amalgamation of plastic and metal in a candy bar design. And let me tell you, the phone looks good. While the design might not be unique to ZTE, but it has character and it stands out for sure. ZTE has used metal around the edges, which has sort of a rusty silver look, and this definitely adds to the overall look and feel of the device. The all black back shines from a distance, and look closer, you will see a dotted pattern which is hardly visible because of the glossy finish. The back feels and looks like glass, but it isn't. It's plastic, which means it's prone to fingerprints. The phone is just 8.2 mm thick and weighs around 147 grams, which is 0.4 mm thicker and 17 grams heavier than the Xiaomi Mi 4i, but it's sturdy enough and feels good to hold. So in the design department, ZTE Nubia Z9 Mini definitely gets a thumbs up from us. It is no doubt one of the better looking phones in the segment today. So the 5-inch of screen size with 1080p display, it looks bright and crisp and clear. The Nubia UI 2.0 on top of this really enhances the overall look and feel of it. The colors are very well balanced and very crisp. I can see everything clearly under direct sunlight. And as far as the back is concerned, well, it's so glossy and shiny, I can use it as a mirror. Oh. ZTE Nubia UI runs on top of Android Lollipop out of the box. It's neat and simple and offers a much flatter look. The Nubia UI is a riot of colors which is visually appealing, but at the same time its toned down animation saves it from going overboard. ZTE hasn't overloaded the Nubia Z9 Mini with unnecessary bloatware, and yes, there is a list of all these service centers. And I thought it was an app. Customer service is very important indeed. Now there's nothing wrong with the phone, it's working absolutely fine. Powering the device is a 1.5 GHz octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 SoC coupled with Adreno 405 GPU and 2 GB of RAM. Now, same specification you'll find the Xiaomi Mi 4i, which costs 4,000 rupees less, and on synthetic benchmark scores, it scores relatively better than the Z9 Mini. The phone is not a bad performer. It's just that if you are too much into gaming and all, then this is not the phone for you. It will heat up and you will observe lags as you progress. Otherwise, for regular usage, there is no problem whatsoever. You can play your less graphic intensive games, do multitasking, surf the web. You can do it all with ease. Now let's talk about the best thing about this phone. and that is the camera. It is no doubt the best camera in this segment. The color reproduction and accuracy is totally unmatched. You have a 16MP rear camera with autofocus LED flash along with 8MP front-facing snapper. So be it outdoor pictures or indoor pictures, you get good details and good color reproduction that is true to source. So there's a 2900 mAh battery that's powering this device, and we use it quite heavily, by which I mean that we watched a movie, HD movie for an hour, we played games, web surfing, calling, and we run all those apps on this device, and we still got 8 hours. Which means that if you're a regular user, average user, you can easily get around 12 to 14 hours on this smartphone easily. So who should buy this device? If you're someone who is not a heavy user, who's not into gaming and loves to click those pictures, then this is the device for you. Else, you can look at the Xiaomi Mi 4i and the Asus Zenfone 2. Remember those days when your friend would call you over for a party and you would realize that your friend has an awful music collection and you couldn't do anything about it? Thank God we have music streaming services now, so you can search and play whatever song you want to listen to. And Apple has just entered the game. Apple Music is here.
So we looked at this and studied all these, and that's where we want to be. That is where we want to be. And we are introducing a product today that takes us exactly there, and that product is called iPod.
Steve Jobs strutted on stage to unveil what was to become the de facto standard in music players, the classic iPod.
Now, iPod definitely changes the way we consume music, but then Steve Jobs himself realized that eventually it's all gonna come here on your smartphone, and that's why music streaming services have gained on popularity, because there's plenty of music for you to choose from. There's no issue of storage, bandwidth is not an issue, and it hardly costs any money.
And Apple wants a slice of the pie. Apple Music in some ways can be looked upon as a natural evolution of the widely popular iTunes Store.
Apple's new music service sounds very promising because it offers a lot out of the gate. For instance, you have curated radio channels, you have playlists, you have offline playback and music discovery besides your iTunes Store. And I imagine it would have been a nightmare for all those developers who were designing the UI for sure.
But here is the thing, Apple has managed to pull it off quite well. The interface is clean, clearly segregated and easy to navigate. There are also some nice touches like the floating bubbles that note your preferences. Admittedly, there is quite a bit of swiping and poking to be done, as each section is cordoned off into its own. Apart from a small learning curve, you will just get it after a while.
Apple has a lot to offer with the curated radio channel, which includes Beats One. Now, the USP here is that all the music is curated by humans and not by any algorithm or robots. Apple has also managed to rope in famous personality DJ Zane Lowe for their Beats One show.
Radio isn't the only thing on offer here. The section also recommends songs and playlists tailored to your likes. The new section highlights trending popular music, playlists, music videos and new releases.
Connect is a unique take on music discovery. The idea here is to populate the section with music that your favorite artists are listening to, and you can always go like them and favorite them. Besides this, the music that's already there in your library, you automatically follow those artists. So Apple starts you off by giving you good recommendations straight away.
Apple also allows you to take music offline, or you can add the songs to your music library, but you are going to need to turn on iCloud Music Library for it to work.
Now, Apple Music is free as of now on trial basis. After that, you'll have to pay 120 rupees for individual subscription and 180 rupees for family subscription. There are other music streaming services that are available in India like Gaana, Wink and Sawan, who offer you subscription which starts from as low as 29 rupees to 129 rupees, and streaming is free here. So music streaming services, although in a nascent state, but the whole idea of paid services, well, we'll have to see how the consumers would react to that. But for now, Apple Music, it sounds good to me. So my maths teacher had 2 daughters and both of them were twins. I guess what I'm trying to say is that not all bald men look alike, because the other day this man comes from nowhere, smacks me on my head and says, "Hey Nishan, Chhapra se kab aaya be?" And I was like, dude, the name is Gaurav. That's Nishan.
Every week we bring you a plethora of gadgets on our show. But today's show, we've brought a different twist to the plot. Today, we've brought a car. We are not an auto show, but today, the car that we've got, we're going to tell you why is it the best car for all the techno freaks and technophiles out there. So let's talk about the biggest USP of this car. And I would want you to specifically look over here. Do you see the blank space? This is where usually MMI displays are located in these cars. But with this car, Audi has made a difference to it. They've relocated the display behind the steering wheel. It's a 12.3-inch display, which is by far a very big display for anyone. The information is uncluttered, the display is bright. Even during the daylight, as you can see right now, I can see everything good. Everything is very, very visually crisp. Multimedia interfaces have been a big plus point on these luxury cars, and TT has the same intuitively built here. On this display over here, I can see everything from my car's information to my sound settings to my multimedia inputs, and I can also check my contact list and my emails off my phone. So this is a very good point for those who are always connected through their smartphones. If you're an audiophile, this is the car for you. Why? Because there is a Bang & Olufsen 12 speaker set in this car. That's right, 12 speaker set. It's got one subwoofer which is placed here. So the gravity of bass remains crisp and remains very tactile. And there are speakers over here on the side edges of the doors as well on the back. So sound system wise, it is a very, very compelling composition in this car. Another bit of technology that has been added in this car is on the AC vents. There's an electronic controller on the AC vents and there is a display on these controllers. So that's quite cool because I can actually adjust the speed, I can look at the blower speed, I can actually set the temperatures, and it's just so cool. I've never seen something like this before. While I've been talking a lot about the technology that has been fitted inside the car, now I would want to shift the focus towards something on the outside. Yes, I'm talking about the LEDs. And this car has the same matrix LED which was unveiled last year in Audi's A8L. It's the same composition, albeit there are lesser number of LED numbers, but it works simply great. And also you get a sleek strip of LED on the sides of these speakers. So that is definitely a very cool thing that Audi did here as well.
And it's time to play some games now. Oh, actually there is only one game that we are reviewing. Her Story. Take a look.
I didn't murder Simon. You think it's murder? Clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
It's best to think of Her Story as a unique interactive experience. It barely fits within the expected norms of what a game should be.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
The promotional material for Her Story labels it as a video game about a woman talking to the police, and that is exactly what it is. A series of videos which present a fractured narrative for the players to solve.
I'd like to speak to the lawyer now.
The game portion of the experience involves watching the videos and figuring out keywords that you can input in a database to find more videos until they form a completed set of events, at which point you start the process again.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
The presentation of game justifies the premise. Initially, you are given little clues to who you are, apart from an username and occasional glimpse of your reflection on the monitor. Most of the game is spent watching videos of the woman narrating the story.
You want my ginger hair? I bought a photo instead of shrink photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Are you the private investigator?
The client is drop dead gorgeous. Her father is just plain dead.
My father wasn't suicidal.
The game is a throwback to the FMV or full motion video games of years past. While those games tended to lean towards cheesy acting and adventure game tropes, her story features a more fully realized, sometimes humorous take on the detective genre. Viva Seifert plays the role of the woman whose videos you spent the entirety of the game watching. Her acting is nuanced enough to convey the dark overtones of the story, and the dreamy presentation adds to the overall atmosphere.
Yes. We left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
The game does have a few drawbacks. The very nature of the game means you will spend quite a while just staring at the virtual computer monitor and guessing keywords. Needless to say, the game requires a certain amount of patience to wade through. Her story is an emotional, humorous ride through an enjoyable storyline. It proves games don't need to dumb themselves down or stick to genre conventions to be entertaining. Once you get into it, it's an engrossing ride that will leave you with a sense of accomplishment once you see it through. Now let's take a look at what's been making news in the world of technology. Windows 10 won't be first day, first show for everyone. Microsoft's new Windows 10 operating system will go live from July 29th. However, if you're looking to catch your copy first day, first show, chances are that may not happen. The Red Bin giant has announced availability details of its new OS, and as it turns out, not everybody will be getting the update on July 29th. Microsoft will roll out Windows 10 to Windows insiders first, followed by reserved systems and then others. Microsoft, it seems, wants to play it safe this time. The other news, Indian telcos have rolled out nationwide mobile number portability. Leading telcos Bharti Airtel, Vodafone India, Idea Cellular, Arcom as well as BSNL and MTNL have announced that they would roll out full mobile number portability from this week onwards, which will allow customers to retain the same number across the country. Mobile phone users will now be able to use their current number while relocating from one telecom circle to another, and even choose a telco of their choice without changing their number. Airtel becomes third largest mobile operator globally. Bharti Airtel has become the world's third largest mobile operator with a total of 303 million subscribers. The top slot has been occupied by China Mobile with 626.27 million subscribers, followed by UK's Vodafone Group with 403.08 million subscribers. Bharti Airtel is a telecom service provider with operations in 20 countries across South Asia and Africa. In the other news, Solar Impulse 2 set solo flight record and lands safely in Hawaii. After nearly 118 grueling consecutive hours over the Pacific Ocean, the sun-powered Solar Impulse 2 is back on land and freshly stamped into the aviation record books. Pilot Andre Boschberg landed the plane on the Hawaiian island this Friday morning, 5 days after he took off from Japan, ending the longest and most dangerous leg in his team's attempt to fly around the world without a drop of fuel. The leg, the 8th of the planned 13, set a record for the world's longest non-stop solo flight in terms of time. It also was the longest flight in time and distance for a plane run only on solar power.
Digital India कार्यक्रम का शुभ
And PM Modi launches Digital India campaign. PM Narendra Modi flagged off the Digital India initiative at an event attended by government officials as well as industry leaders. Touted as one of his most ambitious schemes, the project, which aims to connect over 2.5 lakh villages with broadband internet connectivity, was launched in the presence of country's top industrialists. The program aims to make all citizens digitally literate and bring internet and e-governance to all sections of the society. The Vision of Digital India program also aims at inclusive growth in areas of electronic services, products, manufacturing and job opportunities. The Prime Minister said that Digital India has drawn investments worth 4.5 lakh crores and will create 18 lakh jobs.
That brings us to the end of another episode. We hope you enjoyed watching it, because if you're still watching me, then you did. And if you did, please encourage us, give your suggestions, because they're always welcome. That will help us to improve and get better. So until we meet next, take care. And before we go, just listen to my hyperactive, over-enthusiastic guru.
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.